Welcome, come in. So my name's Kat Parsons and we are currently in Gosbeck in sunny Suffolk. We found this house 4 years ago. We used to live in the centre of Ipswich town and we decided that it did not fit our lifestyle anymore with 2 youngish kids and a dog. So we decided we'd up sticks, but we wanted a proper project, not a bit of sort of DIY fluff. We really wanted to make our mark on a property. So we found this. It is surrounded by fields. There is hundreds of fruit trees outside. It's ridiculous. And it is exactly what we were looking for. An absolute shack. The guy lived here for 70 years and had never done any work to it, no central heating. So it gave huge scope for us to really sort of start from scratch and bolt in whatever we wanted in terms of environmental technology to make sure it's as sustainable as possible. We've got underfloor heating under here, which is very toasty. We've not had heating in this house before. It's a 1950s ex-council house. It only ever had one coal fire. So to actually have heating in it is actually a joy, I will say, after 4 years. So this is our sort of utility area. We've got washing machine integrated that's going in, sink for washing the dog, etc., hiding all our clutter. Everything about this house has been designed as sustainably as possible, from the bolted insulation to every single space you can possibly put it to make it as energy efficient as possible. Equally, my background is in contaminated land and I can see what contaminants do to the environment, and Fee and I are absolutely stringent on the fact that we won't have bleach in the house, not necessarily from a safety point of view, but for what it does to the environment. So for a very long time, we've tried to reduce the amount of chemicals that we use, and chemicals, as harsh as that, Viacal, bleaches, those sorts of things, that residue is in your house, your kids are touching it, the dog is everywhere. That's not something we want as part of our household. So as clean living as we possibly can is what we aim for. From experience from our previous house, and so in the middle of Ipswich town centre, our limescale was horrendous. And my wife Fee is from up north and she does not have this issue at all. So when she came down, like, the kettle is caked constantly. We got some really nice fancy taps at our last house, and within like a matter of months they were sort of cloudy and grey. There was limescale on absolutely everything, and it just really takes the shine off of it. I'm very much, we're clean surfaces, we're as decluttered as absolutely possible. In terms of our decisions on design, in terms of our ensuite and our main bathroom, we've got some really nice shower enclosures, shower screens. We've really thought about the design. But again, at previous houses we've lived in, straight away you've got that limescale imprint, peppered all the way down your shower screens, and then you're out with harsh chemicals trying to get it all off so it looks pristine, and then you've had a shower and it's undone all that hard work. I don't want it coming in and I don't want it going down the drain. Again, hopefully now we've had this fitted, and in a couple of weeks' time when we are having a shower, we can hopefully, I won't be on my hands and knees cleaning things so much. Come and have a look around this way at the kitchen itself. It was very key that we had a water machine as part of our fridge for our 11-year-old daughter, and an ice machine as well. Again, as energy efficient as we absolutely could, but equally making sure we maximise as much space as possible. So that was quite key, and actually changed the design of the kitchen around the fridge, which is not normal. We now officially, as of today, have running water, which is amazing. Not had that for 12 months. Integrated dishwasher. So I've got a job to do later on now that it's up and running as of an hour ago. When we had the initial design meetings with our M&E consultant about the project, it was one of the things that came up as part of that sort of checklist. So she came round and did like a full survey of everything we were going to be having, en suites and bathrooms and all sorts of bits and pieces. And it came up as one of those check examples for the fact we're in a hard water area already. What were our plans? What were our options? It's not something we did a lot of research on at the time because it was just one in a very long list of things that we were having to look at and make decisions on. So it was something that we were aware of, but we had parked. And it was later down the line when we then actually did land on the solution after meeting up with Amy, our plumber, to then discuss the actual sort of practical options. I think when we looked at it, again, having known the issues that we had in our previous household, I've never had a water softener, but I've heard all these rumours, you've got to order this. I'm terrible at ordering things. It's the maintenance, it's the ongoing. And again, it was still adding something into our system as opposed to a different technology. So again, it was quite quick. We spoke to Amy, our plumber, who was recommending all sorts of different devices. And from there, we did a bit of research, and that's how we landed on where we did. I think if we had decided to go for a water softener, again, the underlying costs to begin with before we've even put it in, the maintenance, the salts, everything else, I think that's where Fee and I are a bit like, what is it that we could do? So the Halcyon product, again, the fact we are putting it in once It's in, from what I've heard, it's got about a sort of a 30 plus year life cycle on it. I put it in and I don't have to think about it for the next 30 years. Thank you very much. I think when we were doing our research, I think I was quite confident quite quickly. There's obviously other products on the market. Our plumber Amy was obviously recommending bits that she'd fitted before. So that was actually quite interesting because we were then asking her to install a product that maybe she wasn't so familiar with. So actually to be able to research it together was actually quite nice to understand from her point of view the benefits that it was going to have. And I think she's converted as well now, which is great.
So we always knew it was going to be air source and an unvented cylinder. We looked into an inline fitted water conditioner, just something to help with the hard water in the area.
What were the considerations you had when you were looking at the device, like price, everything, just that sort of stuff?
So it can be put directly onto the water main. You don't have to have a dedicated soft feed. It's a small unit to house within the cupboard. You haven't got the expense of buying salt for a water softener, and it keeps it all compact and just before the water main, incoming water main. Once it's installed, I like the fact that you can leave it in there for 30 years. And when fitting products, I like to know that I've got confidence in that, and that it's a good product to fit.
So in terms of the overall design and the concept of this project, I mean, we have been highly ambitious and probably bit off more than we could probably chew. It's been a 12-month project. There's been decision after decision. Every day we're up until midnight researching all sorts of stuff that I never thought I'd have to search on Google. So actually, in terms of being able to come up with a solution quite quickly, be able to get the research done and be set on what we were having and know it's going to be installed in under an hour was an absolute godsend. It was a decision made. Our plumber's got it in her hands and it's in. It's one thing that's off the list whilst I go and tick another 100 things off the to-do list. For me, the ease of the install, I arrived back this morning off of the school run and Amy, our plumber, was outside ready to go. I then logged onto a call at 9:15 and by the time I'd finished 45 minutes later, I'd missed all the action. It had already been done. So that's how quick it was. Very straightforward for Amy to complete the works, and it looks great. So for 45 minutes of work, I've got a 30-year guarantee. Thank you very much. But when we were looking at the design, as say in terms of that energy efficiency and how the house ran, I think we were very conscious in terms of the water generation, what we were using in the house itself, equally what we're discharging as well, keeping that as clean as possible as well. But again, to be able to utilise whatever's in the house as sustainably as possible as well and as cleanly as possible. It's really important to us in terms of, I think, mentally, we did not want to be in a crowded, busy city centre where you can't open the windows because of the traffic, noise and pollution. We're so lucky where we are. I say the view behind me, I think, speaks for itself. To be able to go and pick apples out of the garden and the kids make their own juice and stuff, like it's just a dream. So again, part of that whole I suppose our lifestyle again is making sure that again having that water that's clear and clean and not full of chemicals is what we were looking for.